So I want to briefly talk about the pirate software situation now that things have started to settle down. There's less videos that are just going on hate parade after hate parade about like everything he said about the stop killing games movement and everything like that. And excuse me, I'm going to do this all in one take because I didn't want to script this and sound unreal. So I'm just going to say it all in one take. Um, yeah. So basically, all of you seen, how he blatantly misinterpreted the Stop Killing Gays movement. Pretty much said screw anybody who buys a game and then wants to, at least have access to playing the game once servers go down, at the very least, so they can make their own communities and do things like that. You've also seen, the World of Warcraft situation. I don't personally play WoW, but a rat is a rat. I know what a rat is. I think his actions, in this case, are speaking a lot louder than his words. And the thing that keeps like poking at me in the back of my mind is the fact that these are the voices that we uplift. These are the people that we, let rise to meteoric fame. And I don't want this to come off as me saying like, that, he hasn't worked hard on his career or hasn't done anything of value. I'm just pointing out something that I think is like a current trend throughout all of social media, throughout, all of the different content creating platforms, is that we keep missing the mark as an internet community, as a people, of putting people on pedestals who shouldn't be. And then we find out after we've given them our time, our attention, our effort, our likes. And it's like, I'm very familiar with Thor's type, right? This is somebody whose entire life has basically been defined and lorded over by someone else's accomplishments. And unfortunately for him, like, his perceived reality is as real to him as what we're seeing of his own character, right? Like, in his mind, he is right about a lot of things because his life is successful. So from his frame of view, there's not too many things that he's doing wrong, so he can hardly say anything wrong. And that's a problem that people like that have a lot, is that they conflate monetary success with moral high ground or some type of, esoteric, greatness inside themselves because of the success that they've found themselves in. And for some people that is true. I think for your LeBron Jameses and people who actually work hard and, literally did everything by themselves, never received a handout for anything. I think for people like that, it's very true. But then for people like this, it just paints a stark picture of how many people that are in positions like that think like that, act that way. And it's sobering to think about how many people are like, because I work in the tech space personally, and you'd be surprised how many people are like that. Not specifically where I work, but in other places where I worked at that are, hoity-toity, real, braggadocious places to work at. There are a lot of people like that who think that their intrinsic success suddenly makes them better than you, better than me, and that their opinions are, worth more than everyone else's. So I just want people to keep that in mind as we, continue uplifting these people, giving them fame, fortune, things of that nature, and, electing them to be voices for us when it comes to the online community, the gaming community, whatever you want to call it. And I wasn't going to speak on the situation because, again, I try to stay away from drama, but the point where I said, you know what, I'm going to join the foray and someone's going to probably give me a grifter comment. But the point where I was like, I feel complicit as like a gaming channel kind of to not say something was when I saw this clip going around of a conversation he was having with his father about, not telling him happy birthday. And his logic in this whole clip is that, because that was the last message he had sent. Since then, that happy birthday still counted for this present year. And his dad was like, yeah, this is horrible logic. That's terrible. Doesn't make any sense. And he was just, over there kiki ha ha and laughing about it. And I don't know if that clip was taken out of context or not, but looking at the clip just from the outside in, it didn't look like it was a joke. It didn't look like this was some, big PR stunt to make him seem more likable or whatever. I don't even know how old the clip is, but to me, like, that should be pretty telling to people that we need to be more mindful that just because someone is, capable of drawing in MS Paint and talking really smart and allegedly faking their voice or whatever the heck is going on with this guy, like, just because somebody can do all these things does not mean that they are deserving of your time and your effort, and in some people's cases, if you're watching a stream, your money. Like, this is the type of person that you're supporting. I just think as a community, we've got to do better about who we lift up, what voices we give power, and that is something that concerns me more and more day to day as things go by. So yeah, that's all I want to say about Thor. I don't hate the guy. I think people like that, they just get so wrapped up in their perceived reality of who they are and what they've done that they tend to, overstep and overtalk themselves into situations that they normally wouldn't be in if they, had ever stepped down from the pedestal they put themselves on. So, I think hopefully this has been a growing moment for him. But considering that he doubled down on his comments about the Stop Killing Gays movement and everything else, and even got called out by Charlie, which I think at this point, like, Charlie should be the fulcrum point for, hey, maybe I was wrong, for the entirety of the internet, because even Charlie has called himself out on past stuff. So yeah, that'll be it for me, guys. Let me know what you think about Thor. Do you think I'm a grifter? Do you think I'm just talking about this just because I think Thor is better than me? I don't know. I just wanted to talk about this because I'm sick and tired of people who are obviously not good people being, uplifted, and they shouldn't be. So let me let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. How you feel about this situation. Where do you think he's going to go from here? What do you think about his career? And what do you think we could do better as a community to stop people like this from getting so high before we see their true colors? Well, that'll be it for me, guys. Mills out.